We're live now. Okay, yeah. All right, so we just started with a prayer, and okay, I'm gonna provide a brief synopsis of the case. The case describes the dilemma of a marketing manager, Thomas Green, who, after being rapidly promoted to a new position, is harshly criticized by his boss. Green and his boss disagree on work styles and market projections. Green believed that sales goals set by his boss are based on creative accounting and grossly overstate the current market environment. A mood of silent conflict develops quickly between Green and his boss, and Green is concerned that his boss is building a case to fire him. Green's situation is one in which his failure to adopt his work style and fully understand the demands and boundaries of his new position may lead to his discharge. All right, so here we have some questions that we have to discuss. So the first one is, what do you see as the key issues in the case?
I I can't give it. Hey, where's Melanie? Hello.
Hi.
So
Hi.
Andre just read the synopsis and then asked a question. Go ahead. I want to read the question again, Andres.
All right, so welcome, Melanie. Yeah, I just read the synopsis, and the first question to analyze is, what do you see as the key issues in the case?
Hang on, guys. I'm just trying to finish up dinner for my family. One sec.
Oh, okay.
Is it right?
One is Green isn't providing Davis the work that he's asked for. There's a few things that Davis has asked Green to do that he hasn't followed up on. That's one of the things.
Yeah. Something I saw is that, yeah, he was asking for data, and he said something like, you need to update your Outlook account or something. But Green didn't see this as something he had to do. He said, like, he was thinking like this is something very simple, and his boss shouldn't be mad for that or something.
Right.
I thought just kind of the whole underlying issue was just a lack of respect for each other, and their communication skills are pretty terrible.
Yeah, when Green called Davis out in that meeting,
Yeah.
It's okay to disagree with him, but you don't really want to call him out in a meeting like that.
Well, I think he thought because McDonald had endorsed him that he was like good to go, kind of a golden child, but he really isn't following the chain of command and being respectful. So I kind of think there's issues both ways. It's not just one-sided.
Yeah.
It's a big change when you go from a salesperson up to a manager. It's a different level of expectations. You have to play the game a little bit. There's always be some politics in there. I've been in hotels for 20 years, and I've been through probably a dozen different managers, and each manager has different expectations. And I found if I find what that manager wants, and I work towards that, I'm usually things work out okay. But if I ignore what they asked for, if they've asked for something for once or twice, I'm still not doing it. Yeah, I'm gonna be in trouble. But I find okay, this is what they expect. I wanted to stay ahead of the game. It doesn't matter what the previous manager wanted. It's what this current manager wants, and give them what they want, and they're usually happy with you.
Well, it doesn't seem like he really cares. I mean, he just came in kind of cocky and not really asking what that department.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, I was also saying that once Davis told him what he has to do or what was expected from him, he didn't do anything about it. And since McDonald talked with him, she told him that they were looking for a senior one and that he had lack of experience doing anything in order to get that experience or try to learn what he had to do.
Yeah. Well, and even he's not listening to his clients either because they're asking him for data, and he's like, it's not necessary, it's not important, it's all in my head. But they want it on paper, and he's not even listening to them. So he just has this arrogance about him that isn't really doing him a lot of good.
Yeah. And then it comes this question: if you were Shannon McDonald, would you have hired Thomas Green? Why or why not?
I think it was fair to give him a chance, but at this point, I'd demote him. I don't know if I fire him because he definitely seems to have a lot of raw talent, but he doesn't have the experience behind it. So you don't want to squash that, but he just doesn't have, like you said, the respect or the maturity or the experience to to provide what's expected of him. So I think he needs to be knocked down a notch or two. Maybe you're back where he was, or because they jumped him up 2 promotions really. And so I guess he needs to be demoted back down so he gets some more experience and learn how to essentially play those games and provide what's expected of him. Maybe maturity level might be the right word for it.
Well, I'm not quite convinced he needs to be demoted, but I definitely think a meeting is in order, and whether McDonald needs to mediate that and say, okay, here's why I hired him, here's what I saw in him, and then for his current boss to say, well, here's the issues I'm having, and to have that conversation and sort of reset and say, okay, here's the expectation going forward. If you can't abide by this, you can't be a part of this team, But I think a conversation definitely needs to happen.
Yeah. That was because one of the things in there was talking about, McDonald asked you, hey, give me your side of it. I'd be interested to see what his response was. How does he respond to McDonald? Yes, Davis asked me for these things, I didn't provide it. He needs to get off my back. I mean,
Sorry, I was on the phone, but
that's all right.
I kind of feel like Davis and Green just don't even try to talk to each other though either. I don't know if that's Davis wanted to hire somebody else himself, and then Green kind of got thrown in there by McDonald, so he's kind of feel like I don't know, McDonald stepped over his boundaries, if that makes sense. And Green kind of feels like, well, she picked me, so I should be here, and I feel like they just have a disconnect there. They don't even want to try to fix it.
See, I feel like Davis has given him a good chance. They spent those couple weeks together. He said, hey, good job. You've done a nice job on this, but here's what I want you to do. So it's not like he was vague of what he had expected. He set out the expectations. He says, hey, I want this data. Here's what I want you to do. Here's what I need you to do. And Davis just completely ignored it. But I think Green gave him a chance to kind of put up the show what he can do, but he just was totally ignoring what he had requested.
I see that too.
Yeah. So we can say that what is something that Davis values and what is something that Green values? Sorry?
Green is the employee and Davis is the manager, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I think Green values, he said it several times, that face-to-face. He likes to meet with people face-to-face, but yet he's not talking face-to-face with Davis, which is interesting.
Yeah, maybe he likes autonomy. Maybe he likes to work on his own.
Good word.
He doesn't want some.
Yeah, and something.
Yeah, I just gonna say maybe he likes to work on his own. Doesn't like to really have someone put expectations on him.
Yeah, something that I also see was that as Green with values, right? He came from the sales stage. He likes to sell, as you said, face to face. He wants to. He's sales, but what Davis wants is that the teamwork, the organization, and they have two different points of view. I think that what Green is he's after is about getting or obtaining more sales, and part of the reading says that he was working independently about a software project that he was working on, and he was working more independently and as a team, or giving to the others the information of what he was doing or how he's doing it. All right,
it seems
so
like they both value respect, but they're not respecting each other. Like Green thought maybe he was on the fast track, and so he wasn't going to stay there long.
Yeah.
But I think he does need to put in his time. He's not going to go any further.
I think he got a little spoiled by getting moved up so fast too. So he just kind of expects him just to keep bumping him up. And Davis kind of is like, look, dude, I've been in this for a while. I just got bumped up. You're in my shoes. You should do it this way. And like that disconnect, like I do see what David's saying. I do see that he definitely gave him a chance. It's just almost like Green's kind of very arrogant. I get the vibe. I don't know. That's just my opinion, but he seems like he's like, I'm the hot shot. Let me do what I got to do.
Yeah, I got this.
Yeah. So who do you guys think is mostly at fault for the state of the current situation?
I'd say Davis. I'm sorry, Green. I meant Green. The one or two.
All right.
For a year, and Davis has been there 17 years. Someone's been there 17 years. You usually learn something from them.
Well, in my opinion, Davis is at fault because he needs to rein him in, and he's allowed him to be on his own and to be so autonomous. He's the manager. He's the guy in charge. He needs to set the tone and the expectations, and I don't think he's done that.
Because you had a review with him like after 2 months. Hey, here's expectations. Here's what I want you to do. And 2 months later, he's not doing it again. So that's when he went to McDonald's and said, hey, I met with him at this time. I told him here's the expectations. He's still not doing it. Where do we go from here?
All right. So now that we know what's going on there, here another section analysis says it's about office politics. So it says, how does power and office politics come into play?
You always have to play office politics.
Yeah.
I mean, I had one boss that he was terrible to work for. He yelled at everybody. And just not an easy guy to work for. But for me, I approached it with saying, okay, what do I have to do to make this relationship work? What is his expectations? Again, he wasn't always easy to work with, but I always kind of put things through a filter. And so, all right, what is he trying to accomplish? Why is he asking these things? And then a couple years later, I was at a different job. He was at a different job. But he called me up and said, hey, I got this opening. Do you want it? And I took it as a good opportunity for me because I always left that relationship open with him. When he left that company, I said, hey, good luck. We'll miss you. A lot of people were happy that he was gone. But, I built those bridges. You play those games. You build people up. You use, the skills that we learned from all the books that we're reading, And those, if you play those things, it's going to help you out in the long run.
I feel like you can't avoid it either. Like you're saying, like it's gonna happen. I mean, you could say in a perfect world, hypothetically speaking, but there's gonna be politics anywhere you go. If you're the new guy, you're gonna get treated like the new guy until you prove yourself. And if you're the hot shot, Davis might be short with him, but he expects you to be doing what you're supposed to be doing if you're the up and comer, and if you can do it, then that's kind of on you. Like, get the clue in, do it.
Yeah. So having this, what do you think that in this case Green can do to repair the situation? Either Green or either Davis. What can they do in order to repair this current situation?
I think Green just needs to put up with what Davis is expecting. I think Green can have the best of both worlds. Green wants data analysis. Okay, provide that data analysis. Green has a team. He has people under him. But he sets someone on those assignments to make sure they get done. As a manager, it's not always your job to do things. It's just make sure it gets done. If he's smart, he learns how to delegate the tasks that he doesn't like, and then he can still have time to do things that he does want.
Yeah, it reminds me too, and something that happened to me in the mission. I remember, I had one of my best friends in the mission, and we were both zone leaders. And something that happens was that he was the senior companion. But I have my way of doing things, and he has his way of doing things and finding people and stuff. And we got some conflicts there because he was trying to work in his way and I was trying to work in my way. But still, he was the senior leader, so I was too prideful as to recognize, right, that I need to do something different, or that I can learn something else. He was teaching me another way to do things, but I was too prideful that I was not humble enough to learn those things, right? And I was just trying to do the things in my own way. Of course, we didn't have any successful at all until we sat down and until we agreed to do what the Lord wants us to do in this case. And sometimes we need to be humble enough to recognize that we don't have all the answers. And even though we are very professional in some aspect, in some field, we can learn still another way to do the same thing. And in this case, as you mentioned, it was like he was not providing what he was asked for, what the customers wanted as well. So he was not doing what he was supposed to do, or trying to learn something new.
Yeah, that's a good point, Andre. Thanks for sharing that. That's one thing that I'm trying to learn. People have different ways of doing things. It's not necessarily that one is better than the other, but it's a different way of doing it.
Yeah.
Well, and I've also been in situations where I've had managers that were not good managers, and it took me sort of speaking up and calling it out, in a respectful way, and voicing my opinion when I felt like I should be, standing up for things that I should be. And eventually that manager learned to be a better communicator and was one of the best managers I've ever had. But she was humble enough to learn from me, which I was grateful for too.
Yeah. All right. So now that we are putting managing into this, how can managing up be applied at work? So he handle things better.
Well, to me, when I think of managing up, I think about the proper chain of command and respecting that. And I don't think that Green should just bank on his relationship with McDonald's. I think he has to respect and abide by Davis's preferences, or he's not going to be very successful, because people aren't going to see or respect him.
Okay, thank you for sharing it. And how can someone be proactive in managing office, politics, power, conflicts, etc.?
For me, it's just finding out what their expectations are and being ahead of the game. If I know they're going to want this, I always like when my boss walks in and says, "Hey, ask me about A, B, and C." And I go, "Yep, already done. Here they are." And you're like, "Oh, good," and then it's done. But they come in, they ask for it. A week later, they come back and ask for it again. It's still not done. Then it's annoying for them. They're having to track you down for the reports, and it's a headache. But if they ask for it, you have it, or you can say, yeah, I've already done it. Makes life easy for them, and they leave you alone and they go on their merry way.
I think it's also really important to ask questions when you don't understand and not just assume or just hope that you can get by, but to find clarification and to ask for that to make sure you're on the same page. Because otherwise it ends up being a waste of time for both people. It has to be redone, or, it wasn't what was expected. So I think just that clarification.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yep.
Yeah, that way they know what's expected when they're going into it.
Yeah.
Well,
And if we
and
want
then
to,
you need help.
and if we want to relate that with the readings from this week, is there any relationship with or any links from the readings from this week in this case?
I haven't started the new book yet.
I read some of it. I mean, like the biggest thing is that they kind of need to get to know each other. Is the vibe I would say from reading that new book. Like, I don't know, I can't remember her name. The lady who's taking over the company, like that's what she really wants to do is just analyze what's going on and then get to know them. And I kind of get that vibe. Like that's kind of the route maybe that Davis and Green need to take is just kind of take off a day or something, go golf, talk, get to know each other, see what motivates the other one, and then try again. And if that doesn't work, then I kind of think Green's going to get fired eventually.
Okay, I see. Well, yeah, I've not read anything, to be honest, yet for sharing that. Okay, for ending this before the conclusion, it says, what gospel connections are pertinent with the case?
Yeah, that return and report. Hey, here's some time. Go do it. Come back. Let me know how it was. We're giving
Right.
home teaching, visiting teaching. We're supposed to report on every month. Fortunately, we can't get fired.
Yeah.
I always say,
Yeah.
give us callings. They leave us there until we get it right. Or if we're really good at it, and they leave us there because we're really good at it. Either way.
Well, I think that's a good point. When we accept callings, we accept it because we have been asked to, not because we necessarily have the skills to perform that calling. I mean, that's what we're there to learn, right? So I think sometimes that happens in the workplace is you have to understand that people, even though they hold a position, they don't know everything. I've had lots of bosses that have no idea what my job is. They couldn't step in and do my job for me. And that's okay. That's why I'm there to do that. But we have to remember that we're all about teaching each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you say, I think that every position or every change that happens in life is for some reason. We are just learning every time. As David also said, is that we are just learning different ways to do something or learning something new every day. We maybe don't have all the skills that it's needed or required for a different task, but it's a way to learn.
I had a manager that taught me one time, she said, I wish people would see my best intentions and not always my worst intentions. We wouldn't always jump to the conclusion that people are trying to be malicious in what they're doing.
Yeah, was that the last book we read? I don't remember where I read it. We judge what we do on our best intentions and what other people do on their worst intentions.
Yeah.
No.
But I think if we treat people with that kind of grace and respect and just understand that they're learning, they're not perfect. We're all struggling together, and some of us have progressed a little bit further than others, but it's, it takes a team.
Yeah, it is like that. Right. Thanks so much, guys, for what you shared today. I think that, as we said before, we're learning, and I feel nice because I'm learning every week something new from your thoughts and your opinions, your points of view. So thanks for all of that. Let me go ahead with the conclusion about what happens with the story. Okay, it says after McDonald's February 5, 2008 email, Green took the offensive against his boss. He crafted a series of memorandums, emails, reports, and projections that exposed inaccuracies in creative forecasting. This data enabled Green to build some alliances with other marketing personnel. He used the data to ultimately side with him. On April 4, it was announced that Frank Davis was being moved laterally to an undefined special project. However, Green's tactics were seen as overly brutal by many in the company, and although he won the battle against his boss, his career was irreparably harmed. McDonald distanced herself from him. By July of 2008, Green announced that he was resigning from his position to pursue full-time studies for an MBA. We can only speculate what would have occurred if Green had tried to help Davis work out the discrepancies and problems with forecasts. Perhaps both would have succeeded.
Huh. Interesting. I would not have guessed that.
Me neither. That's crazy.
So it sounds like, if I'm understanding that right, Davis's forecasts were wrong, but the way that Green attacked them, who would want to work with that? And
Yeah.
I had someone do that once. They went to my boss and told me all these things I was doing wrong and how awful I was. And so my boss called me in and says, "Hey, David, I want you to know all these things that this person has said about you. And just let you know, I never promote that guy because if he says those things about you, what would he say about me if I promoted him?" And so, that's why if Davis would have gone to, or Green would have gone to Davis privately and said, "Hey, I have questions about these numbers and how you got them. Can you explain them to me? Here's what I'm seeing. Am I missing something?" They could have both have helped each other out there.
Yeah, so we
Yeah,
see that. Please go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say sometimes presentation is everything. Because he wasn't wrong.
Yeah. It definitely sounded like Green was right on his forecast. The way he called Davis out.
Yeah.
It's a good lesson though,
It is.
how you treat other people. Yeah.
I'm glad they caught him kind of too, because I mean he kind of deserved that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can see that these are things that we can learn in real life and we can apply in our own lives for everything that we are doing, our businesses or jobs or future projects that we have. We don't know what we're going to have to face in the future, so it's a great lesson to learn.
Yep.
All right, so thank you so much. Any final thoughts on the case or on the discussion?
I just want to thank you guys for always coming, having read the material and ready to discuss. I've been in other groups where it's not been this great, so thank you.
Yeah, no, I enjoy them. I've been lucky. I've had a few really good groups and other projects I've worked on, and so it's nice when you got people that are reliable and, like you said, you have a good discussion about different ideas. And I learn from your insights because now I already know what I think. Now I know what other people think in different ways of looking at it, so it's beneficial.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, guys. So thank you so much for this week's meeting, and so we're meeting next week, same time, same hour, right? I mean, same time.
Yep. Who's next week? Am I next week?
Yeah, I go after you, I think.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Did you go last week? Were you last week, Melanie?
I was.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's my turn then.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
So good.
Okay, sounds
Thank you
good.
so much.
Yeah.
Have you guys a good week.
All right.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.